This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thanks for getting up with us on this Saturday morning. I'm Tim Gordon. This morning on Sunrise, plans for safe rest villages are full steam ahead in Portland and Vancouver. Neighbors near new locations picked by city planners share their concerns. Plus, a thief steals a car with a 3-year-old still inside. Hear from the Good Samaritans who helped save him from getting hurt. But before we get to all that, let's check in with Chris McGinnis for a quick look at the Saturday forecast. Chris?
Check out this view of Mount Hood from our Stoller Vineyard camera in Dayton. Pretty, right? Little glow on the upper slopes there as the sun tries to peek through that increasing high cloudiness. And in fact, as we go to the Astoria column sky camera, you can see kind of a slate gray sky. The overcast is still, up a little bit, but radar is showing even a couple sprinkles along the North Oregon coast and the South Washington coast right now. Again, this is very, very light if it's reaching the ground, but it's a sign that the atmosphere is moistening up, and as we go out a little wider, you can see there's plenty of moisture offshore. So rain is in the forecast at first along the Oregon coast this morning. It'll take a while, but I think that rain eventually gets into the Willamette Valley later this afternoon. For now, that's actually a pretty sunrise out there, right? Our Wells Fargo sky camera showing a little broken cloud cover over downtown. We're 38 degrees. Last check at PDX, the wind increases, the clouds increase, and the rain increases. That rain probably gets in here sometime between about 4 and 6 or 6:30. And this is just the beginning, Tim, of what looks like a very wet 7-day forecast. More on that in just a few minutes.
All right. Thanks, Chris. Well, it is just after 6 p.m. in Ukraine right now, and Russian troops are pressing toward Ukraine's capital as explosions and street fighting sent Kyiv residents seeking shelter or even fleeing the city. The country's president has refused an American offer to evacuate. The invasion is fueling fears of a wider war in Europe. Now, leaders in Ukraine say at least 137 people have been killed and hundreds more injured. President Biden is imposing harsh new sanctions against Russia, including cutting off Russia's largest banks and companies from Western financial markets and restricting exports.
The sanctions we imposed exceed anything that's ever been done. They are profound sanctions. Let's have a conversation in another month or so to see if they're working.
The United Nations also announced today it's preparing for millions to flee Ukraine, with a majority of refugees heading to nearby Poland and Moldova. And of course, we'll continue to follow developments in Ukraine. You'll find updates on air and also online at kgw.com. Well, we are hearing reaction and some frustration to Portland's latest plan to tackle the homeless crisis. Thursday, we learned where Portland city leaders want to put the remainder of the safe rest villages, and not everyone is happy about it.
From North Portland to Northeast and from downtown to Southwest Portland, the final 4 of 6 safe rest village sites are named. You can see the locations on this map, the final 4 in green. We started in St. John's off North Syracuse Street. This city property near Peninsula Crossing is where the Belmont Goats now reside. But for even longer, it's where unsanctioned homeless camping has been happening, and with it, the associated problems.
We have so much crime happening right now. We don't feel safe in our neighborhoods.
Deirdre Jennings and family have lived in this neighborhood a long time. She says the homeless situation has gotten really bad in the past few years with little city response.
And then when they come to this solution, we still have so many more questions around it. And I think we've been very patient and respectful. And to have this decision made without us being a part of it is extremely frustrating.
The Jennings backyard borders the proposed Safe Stay Village.
It's not tenable at present.
And so does next-door neighbor Mark Smith's. He has the same concerns about what the supportive camp will look like and how it will run. He's also hopeful.
It could make a really big difference in the neighborhood if there were managed facilities, if there were treatments available. If there was some kind of infrastructure that would really support people there.
Maybe some lessons and hope can come from Vancouver's experience so far with what it calls safe stay communities. A second site has been chosen off of 4th Plain Boulevard, and program leaders are conducting what they call extensive outreach to those in that area. And its first location, opened with tiny houses since late December, is already seeing successes come from the security and support people are getting there. Some have gone into addiction treatment, others going to school, and
as of this week, I think we've got 4 people who have received or obtained employment. Lots of IDs coming in the mail already. ID is a real hot button. You know, lots of people lose it while they're living outside.
Back in Portland, we also stopped by the NATO Parkway site next to a homeless resource center by the Broadway Bridge.
Thank you for that my opinion, it actually counted or mattered.
We talked to a young homeless man who was glad to hear about a safe rest village coming here.
It's so hard to get resources, so you coming up like with this, and there's more availability in this like section of town. That's very nice.
We included Vancouver in our story, and another note in that direction. The homeless response coordinator there told me that representatives from Portland and Multnomah County will be going up to tour Vancouver's supportive community system next week. Meantime, state lawmakers are also tackling the problem of homelessness. Oregon Democrats are proposing a $400 million investment package. It aims to both help people on the street and take on some of the root causes of homelessness. $165 million would go toward shelters, rapid rehousing, and also homeless outreach. And $215 million would fund affordable housing. That includes buying land and building new units. Another $20 million would support home ownership. We've got some really good news for an Arizona company, a couple I should say, moving to Portland whose stuff was stolen by thieves. As reported on Thursday, Jennifer Beltz and her partner Jeff were moving from Flagstaff to Oregon when someone stole their U-Haul from outside a motel in the Troutdale area. Multnomah County deputies say they've made an arrest and also found the missing U-Haul, recovering a lot of the couple's belongings. That's great. Deputies also say they found other stolen items and a handgun in that suspect's car. Well, now to a heart-stopping rescue in Northeast Portland. Police say a thief stole a car with a 3-year-old inside. That led to a chase, a crash, and several acts of bravery by strangers. Catherine Cook has the story.
Police say the child was not hurt. The suspect has some non-life-threatening injuries. He's in the hospital in police custody. The Good Samaritan who made sure of that is incredibly thankful.
We could be looking for a missing child right now.
Instead, T.P. Brown Jr. is talking about answered prayers.
My prayer this morning was for God to show up for me and put me in an impactful position to help other people, but not knowing the impact that he was going to put me in today.
T.P. was driving to work Friday morning when he saw a Prius speed by him, horn honking, chasing down another car. The driver of that Prius was a father. Police say he was chasing after a man who'd just stolen his wife's running car from their driveway with the couple's 3-year-old son inside. It happened near Northeast 16th and Shaver. About 2 miles away, the dad crashed his car into the stolen vehicle, stopping it. TP says the dad jumped into his wife's car and struggled with the driver.
The car reverses at a high rate of speed. Passenger door is still open, so it's clipping all the cars down the side of the road.
You can see the damage left behind. Neighbor Evie Henby's 1968 Cadillac among them.
Classic DeVille Cadillac. My worship, yeah, here. And it got smacked real good, and there was a lot of people in jeopardy here.
Eventually, the suspect ran off.
I looked back, and the guy was gone.
That's when TP swung into action. He drove off to find the guy and spotted him on Northeast 19th and Pacific, a dead end right next to I-84.
So I immediately floored it, pinned him against the fence, asked him, not to move until the police came here.
TP says that didn't stop the guy from trying to climb the fence, so he got out and held him. Then someone else showed up to help.
The Amazon driver, I wish I knew his name, got out of his truck with some rope, and we began to tie him up and detain him until the police got here.
Moments later, officers took the suspect into custody.
Every single cop that I talked to today was a handshake.
And that was TP's day, one he knows could have gone much differently.
In hindsight, looking back, I'm like, man, that could have got out of control. That could have been crazy. But I was just doing what I was called to do in that moment at that time.
Tomorrow is another day, and for TP,
God is real.
Another reason to pray.
Prayers up, blessings come down.
In Northeast Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
Something else. All right, turning to the pandemic now. The CDC says it is relaxing mask guidelines. Now it will only recommend indoor mask wearing in places with high levels of COVID infections. The CDC says more than half of U.S. counties are at low or medium risk right now. Oregon and Washington both plan to lift their indoor mask mandates in mid-March, as we've been telling you about. All 3 Portland area counties are considered medium risk at the moment. Well, if you drive on Portland's west side, you've probably dealt with traffic on 217. It is a road that's prone to crashes and jams. Coming up next, the big project in the works to ease the daily traffic trouble.